Yeah, I think we can have a conversation about this. Like, I personally believe, like, if you want to build this team, we'll say like 5 years out, and
Hmm.
we know Kate Cunningham is a centerpiece you're building around. I think it's harder to find a player like a Sar than it is a Jalen Duren. Like, I can find
Hmm.
a big that can catch lobs and rim roll and do stuff like that. Obviously, like the dribble drives that he did this year are a little bit more difficult to find, but you can find centers that can protect the rim a little bit and catch lobs with Kate Cunningham. Like, I'll just use this guy as an example. Like, I know he's like way past his prime, but Andre Drummond and Cade would just like kill it in pick and rolls with like in dunks and lobs. But
Hmm.
I'm not saying like go give Andre Drummond the bag, but I'm saying it's a little bit easier to find an archetype like a JD. I think a star is a little bit more unique because of the defender he is, but I can understand why some people have pushback with the offensive game, and I agree with you. I think he does need to take a step in the offensive side of his game because so many times this year it seemed like he was so hesitant to even go up strong with it or
Hmm.
maybe take a mid-range jump shot. Maybe it's just not there yet. I don't really know what like the 10-step plan is with Fred Vincent and Asar Thompson. I know he said that they were focusing on free throws and mid-range jump shots at the free throw line, but like maybe they go out to the more corner threes, more threes at the top of the key. I'd be really interested to see like what he looks like going into this season if he's a little bit more aggressive. But I could understand why you're not like that sold on him on the offensive end. Defensively, man, like the kid covers so much ground. It's insane.
Yeah, that's undisputable for sure. Like I love especially against the Orlando series, he was a demon everywhere. Like when they tried to bring the ball up, the way he was able to block everything, steal everything, and just cover the ground that he was able to cover. The Cavs did a good job of going away from him, which was kind of discouraging. But I mean, that's just the sign of a great team being able to counter your best moves. I think Asar has a chance. A lot of people are saying that he like is already the second most important player of this team. I don't know if I'd
Mhm.
agree with that yet, just because I think offensively we've seen him take a lot of plays off where they're not trying to really get him involved for obvious reasons. Jalen Duren has to be involved on every single play for this basketball team. Whether it's in pick and roll sets with Cade, whether he's crashing the glass, whether he's trying to create his own looks on the offensively, whether he's playing, drop or if he's playing as a rim protector on defense, he has to be involved all the time. Like Asar has had the ability to kind of chill in the corner or not be involved in certain plays. Jalen Duren does not have the ability to do that. I do agree with what you're saying. It is definitely harder to find a player like Asar in terms of what his proven intangibles are or tangibles and including his athleticism. I also do think he's a bit further behind in terms of what his offensive, progression and ceiling looks like right now. While we've at least seen Jalen Duren take the steps of, working on the areas that we've needed, shooting better at the free throw line, working on his confidence with the midi, blowing past defenders, with the dribbles, getting to the hoop. Like that's been there. We've seen it on display. It just has to get there consistently. Asar is kind of at the ground level of what his development is offensively, and that has to turn around immediately because I'm a little worried about that in terms of what we've seen from him so far, personally.
I feel like he's kind of playing within a box. He's playing within the system.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Ron was kind of in that same kind of category where JB has defined roles for everybody and they play within those roles. To me, I think if you gave Asar a little bit longer of a leash, I think he could be a little bit more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you even saw it in the playoffs at times. Like he'll be right at the rim, and then he's like looking around with the ball to see like where to pass it to.
Hate it. I
And
hate that.
and it's just like you're more athletic than anyone on the court. I'd rather you just go up strong, and I know you're a really good offensive rebounder that you could probably go back and get that offensive rebound and get a putback,
Yes.
or even just like hustle for it. But again, I think it's more of a systematic thing in what JB is asking out of Asar, and JB's rotations with him are just like really inconsistent too. Like one
Mm-hmm.
minute, he's playing like 20 minutes. Like some nights he's playing like 16 minutes, and obviously like the foul trouble is a big issue with that. But when he does stay out of foul trouble, I mean, there's no way he should not be playing at least 25 to 30 minutes a night.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I want to see him play like a Giannis type with a Giannis type aggression. Giannis is a
Yeah.
terrible free throw shooter, but he'll at least, use his strength, his athleticism to at the very least draw a foul on you. If I only split 1 out of 2 from the line, cool, it is what it is. But it's going to wear your defense down by the fourth quarter. And he has the athleticism to do that. Obviously not as strong as Giannis, but yeah, it drives me crazy to do the exact same thing you just said. How many times did we see Cade bring the ball up, dribble for 6 seconds, give it to Ausar Thompson, and Ausar gives it right back to Cade, or he's not even looking at the rim to try to blow past his opponents. Even during the regular season, I remember against the Knicks where, you have Jalen Brunson, who's not a good defender, and he's guarding Ausar because, that's not the strong suit of their offense. So even if you're not a great offensive scorer, you have a mismatch, and it's not even like you're trying to hunt it or trying to take advantage of it. You're literally just trying to look around for passes and looking for the next play to set somebody else up. That has to change with this basketball team. Again, I don't expect him to become a sniper, by next season. I don't expect him to be, a 35% three-point shooter. That doesn't have to be his game. But in terms of what I want to see from him improvement, his offensive aggression and his free throws. Whatever the numbers look like outside of the free throws, I have a standard for that. But the offensive aggression and confidence, that's step one of your growth in terms of what your scoring should look like. And we're still waiting to see that on a consistent basis from one of your most important players on the roster.
That's why I think it's just a coaching thing. And I know if you ask JB straight up, he would just give you some coach speak of talking about, like, we trust all of our guys. He's not going to tell you, like, what the defined role is for Ausar Thompson. Like, his defined role could just be, like, switch defensively, offensively, bring the ball up the court, set everything up. And, if there's a backdoor cut or if there's a slip action or anything like that, like, kind of like go into those areas. I think right now they're just giving him like small responsibilities. And as, JB can, trust him a little bit more. Maybe he gets more responsibilities because there's no way like a guy that athletic gets the ball like 2 feet away from the rim and then turns his back to see where Cade Cunningham or Duncan Robinson is coming.
Right.
Because like if you watched him at OTE, he didn't play like that at all. Like he was more of the off-ball twin, and Amen was more of the on-ball twin, and Ausar was the better three-point shooter in OTE. So I think to me, it's just more of a system and what JB has in place. So maybe he gives him a little bit more of a longer leash going into this season in 26, where maybe he's a little bit more aggressive. Like you said, I think a lot of people focus so much on the three-point shooting. Like if he just had a tighter handle and like you were saying, like be a little bit more aggressive, like have that Giannis type of mentality of just putting your shoulder down and getting to the line and just getting into like your spots and hitting at least. I don't need you to be an 80% free throw shooter. You're like a 70, like 72% free throw shooter. I'm good with it, man. Like
that's where I'm at.
My expectations aren't crazy. Like I think he can be that because he's a very talented basketball player.
You cannot be fighting with Rudy Gobert as the second worst free throw shooter in basketball. Like that cannot be the conversation. Again, you don't have to be Steph, you don't have to be Chauncey Billups or whatever. You don't have to be that, but you cannot be fighting with Rudy Gobert as the potentially worst free throw shooter in basketball. Like that cannot be a thing. That has to show some kind of growth, especially seeing what we just saw from Jalen Duren. If Duren within this conversation as a big, where bigs are notoriously known for being bad free throw shooters, then it is what it is. You would see that. But he's grown basically each season to get better and better and better as a shooter. Ausar's got to come along and do the exact same thing sooner than later, in my opinion.
I think he will. Like, again, I think it's just like what the coach is asking out of you to do. I know Mr. Ray said that Koo said that that's what JB was having him like actually do. Koo mentioned that the Pistons did go to Ausar a month into the season and asked him to be more of a cog versus player. We prioritize developing offensively this season, which makes sense. Like if you want him just to kind of be in the cog situation versus being more aggressive, like maybe they gave him more of a longer leash to be more aggressive, which I think they will.